A very good morning and a warm welcome to all who are joined in this session for one-day webinar about towards data science research perspective organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering in PTL Chengalvaraya Nayakar College of Engineering and Technology. This institute is established in the year 2000 to 2001. The college is affiliated to Anna University and approved by AICTE. The Department of Computer Science Engineering established in the year 2007 with the intake of 60. The department has intention to create a field where the students can explore and flourish their creativity in the real world. A warm welcome to the guest for the day, Dr. M. Prakash, our principal, Dr. S. Bhupati from PTL Chengalvarai Nayakar College of Engineering and Technology, and to all participants who have joined this session. It is such a privilege to have our guest, Dr. M. Prakash, data scientist working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Data Science and Analytics Center at Karpagam College of Engineering, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. He completed his Bachelor of Engineering, Computer Science Engineering in 2001 from University of Madras, Master of Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering in 2007 from Satyabama University, and Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and Engineering in 2014 from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. He has more than 18 years of experience in teaching and research. His area of interest includes data analytics, big data, and machine learning. He has published more than 30 research papers in international journals. He has received awards from Computer Society of India towards highest hosting CSI events and active CSI member in Coimbatore chapter. He is a life member in Computer Society of India, ISTE and IAENG. Dear participants, the feedback link will be provided at the end of the session in the chat window. Thank you all for once again for joining with us. Now I hand over this session to Dr. M. Prakash to speak about towards data science research perspective. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay,
Can
thank
you,
you, sir.
okay, can you see my PPT
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Yes, sir.
It's available.
Yeah.
Okay, so that everyone they can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you for your introduction. And a brief introduction it has been given by the faculty member of PTD CNC Engineering and Technology College. The topic today is what we have is towards data science for engineers, a research perspective. Here, most of the peoples who are at beginning level or intermediate, or you will be at the finishing level, right? Wherever the engineering field you are in each and every fields we have a data. For example, if we consider your parent they may be a graduate or illiterate, even they own their data by themselves. Say for an example, if today your mother want to prepare any food or any idli, she she will calculate something because in my home today I have four peoples or eight peoples or 10 peoples. Uh, Approximately for each and every people how much at least they will take, she will calculate. After having a calculation, then she starts preparing the idlis. Even if we take a farmer, he or she of a farmer, they have their own data. Just we can take an current scenario. In the current scenario, if we consider by next week, our CM he is going to open the Metu Dam. That means the water it takes to reach to Delta district for 6 to 7 days. It takes to go to Delta district. If they plan by now, then only they can able to have paddy in the month of that is they can able to have the rises and all in the month of January, because it takes in 6 months. For each and everything, we want to have some calculation. For having a calculation, what the requirement for us is that we need some mathematics is required for that. For needing a mathematics, Here for using a data science, if we have a data, then we want to have some statistics over here. If you know the basic thing about statistics, then obviously the data science is nothing. This data science, it can be used in any engineering field. If you take in civil engineering or electrical, mechanical, even though it may be in electronics and communication or computer science, information technology, aeronautical, whatever the engineering fields are, apart from the engineering field you are going to take, in each and every field you can use the data science. So before entering into this data science, as you are going to become an engineering graduate, if you know about a data science, you want to know is there is any opportunity is there or not. To have an opportunity, let me have a small discussion that in 2020, what are the various fields it's required? Because now we are in the half the way of 2020. In the half the way of 2020, there are numerous number of technologies are in need. Say for an example, some top 10, it has been listed over here. So apart from this top 10 of technologies, what we have over here, we have an enormous number of technologies we have. But nowadays, the people, they were talking about an artificial intelligence, data science, or Angular, DevOps, cloud computing, blockchain, resource process automation, data integration, big data, IoT. They're about something about deep learning, machine learning, and there are many and many technologies what we have. So among these number of technologies, in this session we are going to see about an data science. So these 10 technologies, you want to know whichever the companies they are using these technologies. If you see these technologies, it will be used by a lot many industries. So the industry, it may be a smaller industry or bigger industry. You have a lot many industries. Those industries, they are trying to use, they try to use this data, because in this world, everything we are going to convert into form of a digital. The digital, it means to, what I mean to say is that the digital, if you are going to make some transaction now, the transaction, it become digital. And if you're going to use an future communication 5G, again, it's going to be in digital. So in all those things, in all those world, in all those company, all the company, they generate the data by themselves, and they are going to utilize these things in various trends or various technology. The normal simple question is that normally who will generate the data? For example, the data, it will be generated by by me, it will be generated, or by you, it will be generated. For each and everyone that generates the data, with the help of data, we don't know what we want to do. So that's the problem what we have as of now, because we want the data. By having a data, we itself don't know, by keeping the data, what we want to do. So by using those data, if we're going to build, or if we show in form of one visualization, then obviously what does it happen is that we can go forward, or we will be knowing an enormous number of opportunities that which will be going to have with us. For example, the all engineering field, I'm going to put in a single unit, which is nothing but an Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, which it will be going to cover the entire part or entire engineering what we have. So those engineering, it can be a manufacturing or smart city or home automation, logistic, agriculture, environment, energy, or it may be a smart building. So all those things we can put in a single unit. That's nothing but an Internet of Technologies. The Internet of Technology, we can see a fewer things. For example, in the Internet of Technology, if I'm going to bring it to my home, that is, if I want to make use of an home automation, I can make use of an home automation. Because by using a home automation, if I want to control any fan, light, fridges to be switched on, any motor to be run, or any other to be done in my home by using an IoT, I can able to do all those things by using an thing called IoT. The other thing, what I can have is I can have an smartwatch. The main purpose of people who wears the smartwatch is that just they can able to know that how much they have walked today, how far the calories it has been burnt, and how many kilometers they walked for a particular week or a particular month or for a year, how many calories they have burned. So for all those things, people they are wearing the smartwatch. And we will be having a thing called a car which is integrated with an IoT. So the car which integrated with the IoT, by sitting in an driver's seat, I can able to know what's the pressure of my wheel. For four wheels, what the pressure what I have, and is there any car which is before me in 2 meter distance or 5 meter distance? The car behind me often 5 meter distance. So everything what I can have is that I can able to bring all those things by using a technology called an IoT. The other thing what we have is in the electrical part, if we want to go means we can go for a smart grid. So in smart grid, we will be having a wind generator, or we may be having an power plant or factories. Everything, whatever thing we have, everything it can be integrated to a single thing. That is nothing but a smart. That is nothing but a smart grid. The IoT can be used in the related to the farming also. In the farming, we can able to have what's the moisture level, and there is soil is dry or wet. So those things we want to able to means by using an IoT device, we can find all those things. Technology called an IoT technology. Okay, right. Now, all those things, normally, if you're going to see what it will be generated is data is generated. Say for an example, how the data is generated if you're trying to ask a question in the smart home, at what time I have switched on the light and what time I have switched off the lamp. Example, if it is an evening 6 o'clock, I can able to switch on the light. And if it is 9 p.m. Or 10 p.m., I can switch off the light. So my scenario is that the switching on the light and the switching off the light, it will be between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So this is my normal scenario what I have here. If I want to switch on the motor, normally we will be going to switch on the motor by early morning by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock means it's a normal period what we have. By 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I can switch on my motor and switch off the motor. And if you're going for an smartwatches, the calories burned you can able to have. Because the calories burned, if you're going to see in form of a visualization, then how many calories it has been burned, that it will be somewhat benefited for us if we see in form of data in form of a visualization. If we own a car, if I travel for 500 kilometers, then automatically my pressure, if it's going to reduce, means what I can do is that I can fill the air over here. And if you're going for anything to be an smart grid, in the smart grid, at what time I can able to get an energy from the wind station, and at what time I can send it to that is for home or industry persons, at what time I can send the energy. So those things are timing. What we have is timing. Those things we can have it as a data. And if it is an IoT related feed, we will be going to have at what time we are going to use an processors and packing process, when we will be going to use our moisture, when it will be moisture. Those things what we can have is we can have the data for all those things. So data for each and every instances we will be having, or we will be owning the data. So data is generated by us. By using the data, what we are going to do is an important factor what we have. Say for an example, if I say something to be 78.05 and 74.08, if I say these two values, by using these two values, you cannot do anything because you don't know what are these parameters. If I'm going to say the first one is in latitude, second one is in longitude, obviously we can able to find that, okay, this is in latitude and this is in longitude, which it says that the particular location. So for each and every data, it should have some shape. Without shaping, by using the data, we cannot do anything. So in this Internet of Things, in all scenario, you will be going to have a normal thing called a data you will be going to have over here. The data, it cannot be often a single format. Say for an example, in IoT related thing, the timing we have. In smartwatches, the burnt calories we have. So all those data, what we have is nothing but an text data. If you're going to see in Netflix, if you're going to have some movie database with you, so there you will be having your data in form of an video is. So the data, it's in form of an video. If you have a Facebook with you, in the Facebook, you will be going to give just a like, comment, or you will be going to have a thumbs up symbol, thumbs down symbol. So those informations you are going to give by yourself. These are again nothing but these are again a data. So the data, it can be often a different format, and the size of a data also, it will vary. If I'm going to use a single in Facebook, if I'm going to use a single thumbs up alone, or thumbs down if I'm going to have, or good, bad comment, I'm saying that some comments I'm going to use. So all those things what I have is I have a data with a numerical value, or the value which I'm going to have in a smaller amount. At the same time, if I have a data in image format or in image files or MP3 format, so the data with a numerical value and data with the MP3 format, it have the size to be in different size, and the volume also, it will be in different volume. The size, if it is in different size, then obviously it speaks about an volume only. I can have a mixture of a data, because I have a data with in Facebook with the thumbs up, or a comment I can have. I can use an attachment as an image file, or I can have an video file. So I can have a different data or different format of a file what I have. So those things you can say it as a variety. And if it's a different form of one data, the speed, it should not be less. It should be it should not be the speed. It should not be less, and it should be faster. So for that one, we have the speed. It should not lag in speed. That's nothing but the velocity of a data. So all those things, all those what you can say is that you can say it as a single thing as a big data. If we have a data to be in larger size, those data we want to have an integrated. The integrated is nothing but what we can do is that the data we want to be able to separate or segregate. For segregation, we want to have a big data integration with this. So without having a data integration, we cannot able to proceed the further things. So these things, how we can able to generate, or the different type of data, how it has been generated, with the different type of data, how we can able to have an integration process. This is a process what we have is a big data of an integration. So by using this, what we can able to do the next is that the mixture of data is in form of a cluster. Those things are nothing but big data. This thing we can make use of an analytics. So this is the main core what we have over towards the data science. The analytics what we can have is we can able to arrange the data according to our convenient. For a better example, I can say, if you go to a supermarket and if you purchase something to be 2,000 or 2,500 rupees or 3,000 rupees if you are going to purchase some grocery items to your home. As and when you bring the grocery items to your home, the process what it will be done by you is that all those grocery item, just you will be going to sort it out, or you will be going to split all those items. For example, if it is an bathroom or toilet item, you are going to put in separate. If it is an puja item, you will be going to put in separate. If it is an home or kitchen related item, that you will be going to put in separate. So all those items, it's an analytics you are going to apply over here. That is, you are going to split, or you are going to have a segregation. That's nothing but an analytics. After make use of an analytics process, we can have the final decision. Okay, this content, what it has been purchased from the supermarket, it want to go to the puja room. And these item, what you have been purchased, it want to go for an kitchen. So those things you can able to have the final decision. So in our normal case or in our normal scenario, whatever the data we have, we want to have three things. That is, we want to make use of and sort, arrange, and how we are going to present the data. The same scenario what we have over here, we can see in an healthcare. In healthcare, we will be going to make a process called data analytics. Say for an example, in the healthcare related item, you can have a medical imaging, you can have. In another part, you will be having the patient health monitoring system, the doctor's examinations, and the patient itself, they will generate the data by themselves. And if the patient go to any laboratory, that they will be having the results. By using all the different type of an information, what we can have is we can have a thing called data analytics. The data analytics, what we will be going to do over here is that the patient health, by the last measurement, he has there is a low temperature, now it's a normal temperature. Or he has a high temperature, now it's a normal temperature. It's nothing but an analytics. Just we are going to have a comparison with the data within previous data or previous history is nothing but an analytics. The data without any proper information, any proper analytics, we don't know. With the help of an data, what we are doing, we don't know. Say for an example, I have extracted the data from COVID-19 India on 5th. If I see the data, what it has been displayed over here, you have the confirmed as well as the active list, the recovered list, and the total death. So this is the history, or this is the information what it has been extracted on 5th June of 6:40 p.m. By using this data, there is nothing over here. Because if there is any analytics, then by using an analytics, I can able to predict that, okay, what does it happen? I can able to predict those information. In this scenario, I cannot do, or I cannot have any predictions over here. But by using this data, I can have an analytics. The analytics, what I can have is, this is the analytics. This is a simple chart, or this is an histogram. In this histogram, just it has been shown in the month of June for the first 5 days. In the first 5 days, the analytics, what does it show is that in June, what they have, in June 2nd, compared with the June 1st, 6% or 6-11%, it has been reduced compared with the day 1 of June. In day 3 of June, compared with the June 2, a 17% it has been increased. And in June 4, compared with the 3rd June, some 7% it has been increased. So all those information, what does it happen is, they compared with the previous data, what the current scenario. So compared with the previous data, we can able to find what's the current situation. So the same information only, if you see daily National Stock Exchange, NSE or BSE, even if you're going to see price of petrol, price of diesel. So all those things, it will be compared by using the previous day of closure and the next day of closure. By having the comparison of previous day of closure and the current day of closure, they can able to have how far it has been increased and how far it has been decreased by using an plus or by using an minus. So again, the information of Tamil Nadu government, they are giving the data for each and every day by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. They use only the today's information. With the help of today's information, we are going to have a comparative with the previous day of an information. Just to say for another example, this also it has been taken by COVID only. In this, the confirmed rate in the month of May 1 till now, how far the confirmation it has been increased. Just by using a graph or just by visualizing the graph, we can able to have, okay, right, if we have in the May 1, what's the confirmation rate? And if it is on May 5, what's the confirmation rate? So starting from the May 1 till now, how far we have been increased. As well as the active also, if you're going to see, means the active also compared with the May 1 till May 5, whether it has been up or it has been down, you can able to see over here. So whatever the data we have with us, with the help of data, we cannot do anything. But at the same time, if you're going to make use of an analytics, even an illiterate or the people who don't know anything also, they can able to see the information. Okay, what does it happen? They can able to see each and every information. So this is what we have in data analytics. Now exactly we can go. We want to know what is in data analytics and what is in data science. This is an exact scenario what we have over here. The data analytics is a person who get the input from a scientist. According to the need of a scientist, data analytics, he will do the job. So what type of a job a data analytics he can able to do is that a query is required from, for example, I want to fetch the record in the same medical data set itself. I want in May 1 to May 31, the total number of cases filed for this COVID. If this is the information I want to extract it, this information, it can be extracted by data analytics. That is data and data analytics, they can be able to extract this information. The data science, again, the data science is nothing but who can create a model. So a person who creates a model, he can say it as a data science. The skill sets or scope required for data science as well as in data analytics are that the data science, he can create a model. He can able to have a predictive analytics, and he want to have some skill set to be an statistical, and a basic programming level is enough. And it's often a macro level. And the exploration is that they can able to explore in machine learning or in artificial intelligence or in big data. So these are nothing but they can have the exploration of data. They can able to find or they can innovate newly. So these are the jobs or these are the skill sets or the role done by data science. And data analytics, which is often limited, that's nothing but an micro level. They use some business intelligence tool. Example, they can have some tools like Tableau, SAS. These are some of the tools what we can have for data analytics. And most probably, the data analytics, they will, according to queries asked by a data scientist, they will have a visualization. So that's the job that it will be done by an data analytics. Exactly, now we are going to have or moving towards the data science. The data science is an interdisciplinary field where we want to have uh, an algorithm or to extract the knowledge from the structure as well as the unstructured data. The data science which it relates to an mining and the big data. For this data science, you are in need of some mathematical, that is a statistical knowledge. You want to know something about machine learning techniques. You should have some understanding in computer science. You should be able to do have or some software developments. You should have some business knowledge. So all those things which it makes a data science. With the help of computer science and math as well as statistics, you can able to have a machine learning process alone. With the maths and statistics process, with the domain knowledge, you can have some traditional research. With the computer science and basic knowledge, you can have some software developments you can able to have. But you want to become a data science or data scientist, then you want to know all those things you want to know. Without knowing all those things, you cannot become a data scientist. Exactly, we can move towards what's the meaning of a data scientist. Data scientist is nothing but to extract the knowledge from the data. And most of the people, they extract the knowledge and they practice for the data scientist. The skill set which required for the data scientist, as what we have discussed earlier, is that you should have some statistics as well as the machine learning technique you want to know with you. You want to have some programming skills. You want to have a communication skill with some storytelling. This it can be used in all the field like bigger field like big data or cloud computing. You should have some basic business knowledge or domain knowledge, and you can able to visualize the content, what the content you have by using and some tools you can able to have some visualizations. So in all those informations, if we use some analytics, those analytics it can be segregated into two different parts. The analytics it can have a two different part. The two different parts are nothing but one, it's nothing but an past, and another one is nothing but an future. The past and the future, you can able to segregate both the things, the past as well as the future. In most things, we will be using a past data and we will be going to calculate the future. Say for an example, the past data, we will be going to use past means we will be having some historical data with us. By using an historical data, we can able to have the prediction, the future prediction we can able to have. For example, if you take an example like rainfall, just we are taking the previous history. With the help of a previous history, we can able to calculate how far the rain is to be coming for this particular year. And last year, at the month of June or July, we will be going to have a rainfall. So this month also, June or July, we will be going to have a rainfall. But how far the rain we will be going to have, that we will be going to have the calculation just by using the past data. We can able to have the predictions. So exactly the past, what does it says is that it has two things. One you can have a descriptive and the other you can have a diagnostic. The descriptive is nothing but the analysis of an historical data, which it explains what happened. So by using in past or by using in history, I can say that what happened. Example, now I am having a temperature to be 1 or 2 temperature I have with me. So I can say that the temperature 1 or 2 I am having means what happened to me. And by using the past, we can able to have the diagnostic. The diagnostic, what it have is that we can able to analyze why it has happened. Because if I am having a 2 temperature with me, I would have been taken too much of ice creams, or I would have been taken some cold food, which is not comfortable to by my body, or the temperature it will be rainy, but I would have been taken too many ice creams. This is one of the reason why it has been going to happen. And by using the analytics, I can do in future what I can do. So now the temperature is 1 or 2. I can focus that what may happen. If it is a too high temperature, it can go to a positive or it can goes to the negative also. The positive, what I can say is that I can able to reduce the temperature. The negative, what I can say is that the body temperature, if it has been not reduced, means I can go, or my life it can able to end. So I can have some prediction. So the prediction is that the focused what may happen is nothing but our predictive. And in future we can have a perspective. So the perspective here we can have the recommendation on the action based to the forecast. So for the forecast, what we can have an exact action, what we can have that we can able to do. So by using an analytics, what are the things we can able to do is that these are the past and future we can able to predict. For better understanding, I can say the other examples too. For example, if we can take any biscuits or any soap company. If there are any biscuits or soap company, they are selling all their product to the grocery shops. They will have some statistics with them. In Tamil Nadu, for example, if I'm going to take some XYZ company soap, in Tamil Nadu, for the 1 year, the XYZ company soap, how much it has been sold out. They have one data with them. What they can able to predict is that now my turnover is 1 billion. Whether I can able to get 1 billion for the next year or not, they can able to have a prediction by using an older data. They can have the prediction. Sometimes what does it happen is that at the end of 7th month or 8th month or at the end of year, their prediction it may go wrong. And instead of having a turnover compared with the previous year, it may cause or it may go something to be slowed down. If this is the situation, the next year for increasing their number of sale, what they will do is that for 125 gram of soap, they will say that if you buy 125 gram of soap, we will be going to give 25 grams free. Or for 125 gram of soap, if it's going to cost 40 rupees, means we will give a discount of 5 rupees. So this is the technique what they will be going to use. If this is the technique, if they are going to use, obviously what does it happen is that their sale, they are trying to increase their sale. So that in future, or they can able to have the prediction that compared to the previous year, this year how much they have sold, that they can able to have. Before going for this analytics, what we want to do over here is that we want to have the exploratory data analysis. The exploratory data analysis, what does it do over here is that here in this particular chart, what it has been have over here is then we have a center line over here. The center line, what does it show again is that it shows your median value, the center value, the center point. Always the center point or the center value which it plays a vital role in the statistics. Say for the example, for your bike, you are putting 2 liters or 3 liters petrol. If you are going to put 2 liters or 3 liters petrol, then you can able to have some calculation. Okay, 2 liters or 3 liter petrol, I can able to manage for 10 days or 12 days. So this is the calculation what we will be going to have over here. That means per day you can able to have travel for 3 kilometer. For the second day you can have a travel for 10 kilometer. Third day again you can have a travel for only 1 kilometer. But if you go for an 12th day, what you will have is that you will be going to find the average. So for how many kilometers you have traveled. So if you are going to have a travel for 35 kilometers for 12 days means for 35 days means okay, 1 liter petrol it has been consumed. So this what you can have is that you can make use of an analytics over here. That is the data about and data you are going to know. That you can say it as an exploratory data analysis. And here, this already it has been discussed, just now it has been discussed. What I had given an example to you is that I had given an example, you are going to go for an grocery shop to purchase 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees grocery items for your home. That's nothing but your data. So those data, according to your convenient, you are going to sort it out. According to your convenient, you are going to have or you are going to sort the data. Then all the data you are going to arrange. Then you are going to present your data. So this is also a type of an analytics what we have. So here the first case what we had is it's a bell shape analytics what we have. For most faculties, I can say why we are going for a bell shape. For the most of the faculties, I can able to say that the bell shape graph, the center point, it will be high. If the center point is high means whatever the percentage you are going to have or whatever the scale value you are going to have, that's the class average mark the students has been scored. Based on this center point, you can able to assume that there are weak students also available, there are fast learner also available, but according to all, how far the students they have scored, those you can able to analyze over here. So this is one of the chart what we have, that is the bell shape group. And according to this, we have something to be like a bar chart or histogram. So the histogram just it has been discussed with an COVID-19 data. And here we have some data to be shown in form of an 3-dimension stream graph. This is also one type of a visualization. And the other type of a visualization what you have over here is a cloud visualization. In this cloud type of a visualization, the words we have used are enormous. The word like statistics, analytics, visualization, algorithm, Hadoop, data. So these are the word it has been used for more number of times. The word which frequency is high, its size is bigger. The word which frequency is low, its size is smaller. That's it. This cloud visualization where we can able to use is that this cloud visualization we can able to visualize in Twitter data sets we can able to visualize. In Twitter, how we can able to have an analysis? If this is your question, yes, in Twitter we can have an analytics. What analytics we can able to have is that just for your understanding, I can say some example. For example, you can take any one of the person, because I don't want to mention any person name, so that's why I'm hardly thinking out. If you take any one person, for example, you can take myself. I'm going to tweet daily. I'm going to tweet all those content. So if I try to tweet for each and everything I'm going to tweet, you can able to get what type of an data or what type of an word which I'm going to use in frequent. Because always a person who use and frequent data, that alone it will be in more. For your better understanding, I can say that you can take any one of the famous director you have with you. For example, you can take Shankar, or you can take director Hari, or you can take any one of the directors. If I'm going to have the direction with the Hari, the film of direction with the Hari, it will be some action-oriented movie. If you see all the movies of him, he takes only the action or action-related movie, so that's its particular choice. If you have some music directors, always they will be going to use, for example, a music director with a melody song, he uses only the melody song. If he's going to use some Ghana song, always he uses only the Ghana song. So each and every person perspective, it will be different. So for each and every perspective, if you're going to have a different nature and a different perspective, we can able to find what perspective a person they have. If I am the director, I am going to take only the action based, means I can take only the action based. In action based, what are the new ingredients I have been used, that alone I can extract and I want to analyze, means I can able to analyze. So by using this, what it happened is that I can able to sell the data in a larger value. Again, for your better understanding, I can have that some 10 years ago, a movie named Singham, it has been released. For your better understanding, you can take this as an example. In Singham movie, after having a Singham movie, what they have done is that they have posted the contents or the information in the Facebook. In the Facebook, what we do is that we will give an like comment. So most people, you can give like comment, and a few people's what you will do is that you will type a comment. Okay, this particular scene is good. This particular content is good. So these informations, what you have is that you will be going to provide these information. By using these information, we have a lot many data with us, the comments. So those comments, if I sell to a right person, I can earn in a lakhs and lakhs or pros and crores. But all the information who are giving is that publics are giving. So by using the public information in a Facebook, what I can have is that I can able to have the data in form of a cloud. So which word it has been used frequently, that I can able to see in my cloud. So you have a numerous number of visualizations. Only the 4 visualization it has been shown it over here. So by using an exploratory data analysis, you can able to analyze what type of data you have, how you are going to visualize the data, everything you can able to have the visualizations over here. And by using an exploratory data, what we can do? By using an exploratory data, what we can do is that we can make the machine to learn. Again, a good film, you take Shankar's Indiran. So there you will be going to have the concept of machine learning. In the particular movie, the hero, he says to his assistant that you try to learn, or you make this machine to learn. So what we want to do is that the initial cases, what we can do is that we can make our system, or we can make our machine to learn. So machine learns everything. So whatever the inputs we give, everything it learns. Example, in the same movie itself, at the time of testing, after learning, they go for a testing lab to test. Walk, run behind, go forward, take a knife. So all those instruction, whatever the instruction we are going to give for a machine, all according to that instruction, the machine it will try to react. So we can make the system to learn. After making a system to learn, what we have is we have a concept called artificial intelligence. The intelligence, whatever the intelligence we have with the human, that we can have with a system, or we can make the system. So we can have the machine to think, the machine to do. That you can say it as an artificial intelligence. The machine learning is nothing but this is a subset of an artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, it does by itself, where we can make the system to learn, it's nothing but a machine learning. And if we have some images, with the help of an images, you want to do anything, it's nothing but a deep learning. So deep learning is the subset of, again, the subset of a machine learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and machine learning is the subset of an artificial intelligence. So in the industry, in the current trend, or in the industry, wherever you go, everyone, they will speak about the artificial intelligence. Next to the artificial intelligence, they speak about a machine learning. With the help of an image, we want to recognize the data. There we are in need of a deep learning. So this is the current trend what we have. So all those trend what we have over here, we can make use of an analytics by using data science. Just we want to know ML types, or what does the ML do. In ML, it's nothing but the combination of a different thing like data mining, algorithms, a classification, a learning, a neural network, deep learning, artificial intelligence, and autonomous system. Everything it builds under your machine learning. In machine learning, what does we do? Is from the ordinary system, we are going to have the AI. So AI in the machine learning, what we will be going to do is that we make the system to learn first. Then we will make the system to predict. In the prediction, if it goes anything to be wrong or anything to improvised, those things we can able to make the system to improve. So this is the thing what we will be going to use in the concept called an machine learning concepts. Okay, here we can feed the data to the machine. After feeding the data to the machine, how we are going to predict? So this is the next scenario what we have. After giving an input, we are going to have a prediction. That means how we can able to predict. So these things we can discuss in the later part, because at the time of the initial stage, I can make the system to learn. After learning, what I can do is that whether the learned contents are right or wrong, that prediction I want to do, that it can be done by using a machine learning. Then if I want to improvise anything, I can able to improvise. So those things exactly in the next slide, I will discuss in elaborate. And you can have, by using a machine learning, you can have a different type of visualizations you can able to get it. In this, here are some few visualizations what we have by using a concept of a machine learning. So what you have is the first thing what you have is linear regression. In linear regression, you can able to have, there will be a predicted line, and you have the data above the predicted line or below the predicted line. Say for your better understanding, what I can have is that if you are going to become an employee to an XYZ company, after 10 years or 15 years, based on your experience, I can able to predict that based on your experience, whether you are getting more salary or lower salary. So this is one type of prediction. Because according to your experience of 10 years, I can have a salary to be the fixed to be, this is the salary for 10 years of an experience. But maybe your effort, you may be getting the salary more than that. Because of your hard work, the company, they can able to give some incentives additional they will be going to give to you. So based on the normal prediction, I can have your salary is higher or lower. In few cases, if your performance is slow down, according to your experience, you are not getting the salary. So these simple things, what I can have is that I can make use of a linear regression. The other thing what you have is a logistic regression. In logistic regression, I can able to have a prediction only in binary form. The binary form, what does it says is that this is a 0 and this is 1. Only the two outputs what we have, either to be an 0 or to be an 1. Say for an example, if it is a bank loan. If you are applying for a bank loan, there are only two possibilities. Either the bank loan, it will be approved, or the loan, it won't be approved. There will be a numerous number of factors. The numerous number of factors, it may be the previous history, they will be going to find it out. Already you have applied the loan, you have bought the loan, and you have not settled. If this is the reason, the loan, it will be rejected. If there is you have not brought the loan in the previous history, if you have brought the loan, means all the loan, it has been settled, and there is no cases on you. So in that case, the loan is approved. So you have only the two conditions, either yes or no. If it is yes, it belongs to the 1. If it is no, it belongs to 0. So if it is 0, it's no, so loan is not given. If it is 1, it's yes, the loan can be sanctioned. So it's depending upon a lot many fields. If you take the same scenario for heart patient. For heart patient, whether he has an heart attack or not. If he has an heart attack, it depends upon the various data. The heart attack, it may happen due to the past, that in his body the cholesterol, it may be high, or he may be fatty, or he may have some other problem related to the heart. So all those field, it relates, and finally what you have is he has an heart attack or not. So he has the heart attack or not, that you can able to have by using the logistic. You can able to have in the logistic, you have only the two criteria, like yes or no. And the other thing also you will be having as an k-means. This is also one type of prediction. In k-means, what type of prediction you can have is that here the general graph, what does it shows is that it shows as an 1, 2, 3 different clusters. It shows this 3 different cluster. How you can able to form a cluster is that in a grocery shop, a person who goes and who purchases the item. So based on the item what he has been purchased, I can use an k-means algorithm. For example, the cluster what we have over here, you can able to have your x-axis as the amount spent, and the y-axis as the points gained. So the amount spent, you can have the x-axis as the income and the y-axis as the amount spent. X-axis as the income, y-axis as an amount spent. So the income is low, his spending also low. Here the income is high, their spending is also high. And here the income is moderate, but spending is more. So here what we can have is that we can able to have all the different classifications we can have. Likewise, we have different algorithms for machine learning like Navy Bayes, support vector machine, random forest, decision tree, support vector machine, and you have the more number of algorithms you can able to have, or you can make your system or your machine to learn. Directly we can go for the machine learning algorithm types. Here, in general, we can say the algorithm as an supervised and unsupervised. Normally, we will be going to say it's a supervised and unsupervised. Apart from the supervised and unsupervised, we have another thing called reinforcement learning. Just for our understanding, there is only one difference between a supervised and unsupervised. In supervised algorithm, we have labels. In unsupervised, we won't have labels. Example, in supervised, the label. If we mention labels are nothing but we make the system to learn. In the diagnosis, the patient is a hot patient or not a hot patient. Or in banking, I can say that the loan is approved or not approved. That means I can able to classify the data either to be in form of yes or no. The classification part, yes or no, is nothing but the label. I can able to classify. In the classification, that classifications you can say it as in diagnostics. So in diagnostic problem, what we have? The diagnostic, it can be used for healthcare or for banking data sets you want to use, means you can use in the banking data sets. So for all those things, you can able to use this diagnostic. So where we have labels, if we have label, it comes under supervised. In supervised, we have a two thing called the classification and regression. In classification, either if you have yes or no, that you can say it as a diagnostic. Likewise, in fraud detection. In fraud detection, if my credit card or debit card it has been hacked by some person, those things I can able to have it as the person. Some person they have misused my card and they have taken the amount. So those things either misused and taken the account and taken the amount, or not misused. Those things you can say it as a fraud detection. You can able to have the image classification. Images you want to segregate means you can able to segregate. So those things, separation of an image, that comes under the classification. Customer retention. For example, a faculty who is working in XYZ company, whether he is working for less than 2 years or more than 2 years. He is working for less than 5 years or more than 5 years. An employee who works less than 10 years, more than 10 years. That is nothing but retention. Here it has a classification like less than 10 years, more than 10 years, less than 5 years, more than 5 years. So those type of issues we want to take means those things comes under your retention. Apart from the classification, the other thing what we have is a regression. Regression is nothing but the data what we forecast in the future. Today, after 1 hour, the rain may come. Or by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we can able to predict that there will be a huge rain. The rain we will be having in this part of a district in another 48 hours. So those things we want to have a prediction, those comes under your regression part. And we can have fewer things like market forecast and estimating the life expectancy of a particular person. So those things which it comes under your supervised learning part. Apart from the supervised, without label, we can have, they are nothing but unsupervised algorithm. In unsupervised algorithm, instead of going in detail, I can have a simpler example and I can stop this the unsupervised. The simpler example for the unsupervised algorithm is that the market basket analysis. The market basket analysis, what we can say the market basket analysis is that there may be a combinations to buy an items. For example, I am having a plan to go to one shoe shop to buy a shoe, a black shoe. For an example, you can take that. My aim is that I want to go to a shop to buy a shoe. I had a trial, everything it has been over, and I liked a shoe. I bought the shoe. At the time of billing it in the billing counter, the person from the shop, he will ask to me that, sir, for the shoe, are you in need of any brush? If I say yes, then again, after buying the brush, he will say that, sir, a new brand of polish, it has came here. Do you like this? And for 1 week or for weekly once, you can have the polish so that it will be more brighter. Why can't you try like that? He will say. I can say again yes. Before again putting the bill, the person, he can ask that, sir, a new imported socks, it has been reached from XYZ country. Do you like this socks? You can have a try. Okay. The thing is that my aim is that I am in need of a shoe. I want to buy a shoe. But when I am coming out of the shoe shop, I have a shoe with a polish, a brush, as well as a socks. Likewise, if you purchase for any grocery items, for example, if you buy a bread, obviously there may be the chances to buy a milk or egg. Because if you have a bread, for bread omelette you can have egg, or you want to have only an bread means you can able to buy an milk. So these combinations, what you have is that there is no labels for this. Without label, we are going to proceed all those things. So this, it comes under a category called unsupervised category. In machine learning, there is a third thing. That's nothing but an reinforcement learning. The reinforcement learning is that we give the input to a machine, it does automatically. Example, in this COVID period in Chennai 3 to 4 hospitals, there was a robo. Directly, what does it happen is that if you enter inside the hospital, the robo itself automatically it checks our temperature. If we have a higher temperature, the robo itself, it will try to guide us to which ward you want to move. The other thing also what we have is then we have a robo. Instead of human delivery of medicine, with the help of a robo, the medicine it will be delivered. In the foreign countries, the delivery of the food itself, they are going to deliver by using robots. So everything based upon the human intelligence or based upon the input what we are trying to give to the system. So based upon the human intelligence and based upon the inputs what we are going to give to the system, we can able to make the systems to learn and systems to do by itself. The better example what we have is if you want to play a chess, we need 2 persons. If you play with a computer, you are in need of only 1 person. 1 person is yours. The other person is that the system, it puts a lot of algorithm, it thinks it out, it plays by its own. So this is a normal concept what we have for machine learning. And those people who belongs to different branches or the different faculty members, you don't think that these things or these technology which is related to the computer field. Because these technology, even a person who you belongs to civil engineering, the industry, they are in need of data science persons. They are not looking over the persons like person belonging from civil engineering or automobile engineering. These persons are not fit for data science. They are not thinking like that. They need only the graduation of an BE. They are not in need of the branches. but you want to become a data science, then you want to know the concept of this machine learning. Again, to your better understanding, the discussion what we have discussed over here, just I can have an example with an repetition. Here in this example with the repetition, the first thing what we are going to make is that we are going to give the labels. Here the cat faces are nothing but the labels. I'm making my system to learn. Just to showing these are the things of an cat faces of different form. I'm going to give these inputs to the system to learn. After learning, I will be going to give sample other inputs. If sample other inputs, if it belongs to cat, it shows it as a cat. This is not a cat, so it shows that it's not a cat. So what I can have is that the initial I want to make the system to learn. Then the system itself, it predicts that whichever the items are cat and whichever the items are not cat. That means, say for an example, I have 100 data sets with me or 100 images with me. What I can do for the supervised learning is that I can give the 80% of the data, I can make my system to learn. With the help of data, what I have with me, I can have the 80% of data, I can make the system to learn. The other 20% of the data, I can able to predict that whether the prediction is going to be right or wrong. In the normal traditional programming, what does it happen is that we will give an input program, we get the output. This is a traditional programming method. Because this I have forgot to tell. In the traditional programming method, in your system, you are writing a C program means after writing a C program, you are writing an input 5 plus 6. This is the input. System it process. What is 5 plus 6? It throws the output as an 11. So this is a normal traditional program. In machine learning, what we will do is that I'm going to give 5 plus 6, the input I will be going to give to the system. At the same time, I'm going to say that the 11 is the output. This is also the input I'm going to give to the system. In machine learning, I will be going to give the input as well as output. Both input and output, it will be given as input to the system. The output, it generates a program or algorithm that's nothing but the machine learning. In a simple step, what we can able to have is that the difference between a traditional as well as the machine learning is that in traditional we will be going to give a input program and we can able to expect the output. In machine learning concept, we will be going to give input and the output, and the output is nothing but a model, or it can be an program, or it can be an algorithm. So that we will be going to have the output in the machine learning. And if we are going to use of an unsupervised. In unsupervised, there is no labels. In unsupervised algorithm, there is no label. If there is no label, then there is no training is required. And we don't know what will be the output also. Just I had given a market basket analysis, like that I said. If I try to buy a bread, I can able to buy an milk or egg. This is the thing what we are going to do in the unsupervised process. So I cannot say that bread is a labeled one. Because in grocery shop, if you go for grocery shop, you will be having 1,000 plus items you have. You cannot able to have all those 1,000 plus items in form of a label, and you can make the system to learn all those things. I have 1,000 plus items. That's it. And by using an algorithm, what I can have is that I can able to segregate. That is, I can process and I can able to segregate all those items. That is, I can have a bread or whatever the items I have, I can able to segregate all those items. So in this unsupervised method, there is no need for having these things. And in general, if you're going for an data science life cycle, in data science life cycle, you will be going to have, the thing is that the first you want to know what's the business perspective or the business understanding, what the people are in need, what's our objective, what the problem to be tackled. So this is the first step, the business understanding. That's the first thing for the data science life cycle. Then with the help of all those data or all those information, how the gathered information I'm going to scrap. That's nothing but the mining. So in mining, you will be having a huge and lot number of data or lot number of data sets with you. So with the help of lot number of data sets with you, how you are going to mine the data is nothing but the data mining. With the help of the data, what you have, the next process, what you want to do is that you want to clean the data. So cleaning is nothing but the polishing the data. The polishing, what in a single word you can say is that in your data, in your information, if there is nothing or nil, those data and those items you can able to remove it. If there is an empty item or the data which is not relevant to us, those informations you can able to remove from the list. That's nothing but the data cleaning. And the next step is that we want to have, or we want to explore the data. What we can, with the help of data, what we can able to analyze visually. That's nothing but the exploration. Just I said about an EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. The next, with the help of an exploratory exploration, I can go for an feature engineering. To make the data to be more meaningful, I'm in need of feature engineering. Then the next step is that I can able to have, or I can able to create a model, a predictive modeling. It can be created. That's the next step. Then I can able to visualize the data. So these are some of the life cycles where we can explore or where we can use the data science. The next stage is that to become an analytics or a scientist, what you want to do. What you want to do over here is that you want to know some tools. You want to learn some tools. Some tools are required to you, or some tools that should be learned by you. So few tools for analytics I can able to have. You can use SAS or programming, SPSS. With this, you can able to add the another two things like Python, Tableau. These things you can able to use for the data analytics tools. Whether the tool, what it has been specified over here, whether it's tough and tedious to learn, no. It's not that much tough, but you want to have some analytical or statistical thinking that's required. If you go with SPSS or SAS, then you want to have some investments over that. It's not an open source. If you go for this SAS and all, you want to purchase the software and you want to use it. Where R and Python, it's an open source. It's freely available. You can able to download, you can able to install, and you want to learn these tools by yourself. There are a lot many web pages or websites available. So those things I will let you know at the last present, that is last slide. You can able to have those things. You can read by yourself and Python also you can able to have some self-learning, you can able to have the Python also. For data analytics, these tools are enough. And if you want to become a data scientist, this is the information which it has been extracted in last exactly 1 year back of 2019, where you are in need of Python and R. Among these two, whichever is the best, if you're going to ask, means most of the people, they started for Python. To me, I can say that you can able to use a programming in R. What I'm saying is that compared with the Python, if you're going to use an R, the number of packages you are going to use, it will be minimal. For the R language, we have more than 14,000 plus packages we have. Compared to Python, the R language, it will be somewhat simpler and easy to learn. But if you're going to explore in both the languages like Python and R, it will be somewhat well and good if you want to become a data scientist. Apart from these tools, if you're going for big data, now Apache Spark is booming up because the Python and R, it came earlier in 2000, where the Spark, it has been started in the year to boom in the year 2014-15. Later on, it started to boom. Within a 2 years or 2 years span of time, this Apache Spark, which is going more faster. Apart from these tools, you have various and numerous number of tools and technologies you have to become a data scientist. Let me have a few discussion with real-time examples. I want to have a machine learning. For having a machine learning, you can have some real-time example in example. This is an Udemy website where I tried to purchase Scala and functional programming. So this is the thing what I try to purchase. But the machine learning, what does it do is that it recommends me the people who bought Scala and functional programming, they have bought the advanced Scala and functional programming also. But my aim is to purchase only one product, but the system gives the suggestions of 2 products. The other example, this is the information I have extracted from my Facebook. A person in the year 2016, he has posted a content in his Facebook. After 4 years, in June 5th, you were in this particular location, the same date, same time, you were in this particular location. The system pulls the information and it put in the Facebook. That means it gives their recommendations. The other example, just I was searching for a website called IBM Institute. In my Yahoo, at the right hand part of the ad, so whatever the thing I have been searched, those ad, it has been popped up to me. Those data or those information, it has been popped up to me. In your mobile itself, you have a concept called a machine learning concept, because everyone you people are using an Android mobile with you. In Android mobile, you have photo options. You have in photo options, you have a search button. In search button, for example, if you're going to type boy, and if you are trying to search means wherever you have a photo of a boy, all the photo it will be displayed to you. If you search with an city wise, that is in Google Photo, you want to search the content by city wise, you can able to extract the content by city wise. For example, your name, you want to search a particular person name called Kumaresan. If you type the person Kumaresan, and if it has been already stored the Kumaresan photo in your mobile phone, so wherever the photo is going to be mapped, all those photos or all those information, it will be displayed if you're going to have the name it as in Kumaresan. So the machine learning, in your Android mobile or in your Android phone itself, you are using the concept of machine learning concepts. Okay, right. The next to this, what you are going to have is then we're going to do a part called research. What's the research? Research is a simple word. You can search a thing again and again, that you can say it as an research. You can have various examples of using the concept called data, wherever the data we are using. You can use the data in banking sectors, you can able to use the data. Example, if you're going for bank, few example it has been shown as in for fraud detection, risk modeling, customer life value. These are some of the things it has been listed. If it is in manufacturing or manufacturing industries, you can able to use the data. In e-commerce, you can use the data. In healthcare, you can able to use the data. In transportation, in finance. Apart from these category, if you walk or if you travel from one place to another place, and if you are having an Android mobile with you, that the data you have the data it has been generated over there. That you want to make use of an analysis, you can have. You have an Twitter data with you. You have an Facebook data. You have an WhatsApp data. So the data, it's enormous and high, huge. So in all the places, you have a lot many data with you. So all those lot many data, you want to have an analytic process, you can make use of an analytic process. These are the few applications what you have. These applications, any branch of an engineering students, you can do with these applications. Once the application it has been completed by you, what's the next? You want to have the data to refined, restructure, reframe, repeat the process again and again. You shapen the content, you shapen your output, you can have a good visualization, you can have a good algorithm after completion of all those work. The completed work, you can make it as a document. Those documents, you can try to convert it as a paper. Those paper you can submit to a good journal, reputed journal, and you can publish your work. Because once you are going to complete the application, your project is not live, it's in dead form. You want to make your project to be live and your content to be read by each and every person, then you want to make your content to be in live. So for that one, what you want to do is that you publish your articles or you can publish your content in reputed journals to try to publish the content. As said, you have a lot many online resources or materials you have to prepare. I want to become a data scientist. Whether I need any certifications. Instead of certification, you have a knowledge that's better and that's good for you. Where these materials are available or where I want to prepare, where I want to learn. You have a Coursera. I think this Coursera, during this pandemic, it's free, I think so. want to register and you want to utilize, means you can utilize during this pandemic. To have a minimal investment, you can go with Udemy. It may be 420 or 500 rupees, so that you can purchase good courses, and you want to learn by yourself, you can able to learn the courses by yourself. For EDX, you want to have some investment to get an certification, but you want to have a collaboration with some reputed universities or foreign universities, you can go with Coursera and EDX. Then to put in huge investment, you can go for Udacity, where you will be having some nano degree courses you have. So the investment for Udacity, it will be more higher. And to Google it, to read by yourself, you can go for this Intel Point. Apart from this, for data analytics or machine learning concepts, you have NPTEL. In NPTEL, you have the courses where you can able to study. And DataCamp you have. And that's about my work. And if you have any queries from the organizer side, I'm able to drop the queries what you have with you, so that we can have the question answers. And if you have any queries, you can able to communicate.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you,
A
madam.
nice session, sir.
Yes, madam. Is there is any query
Yeah,
from
sir.
the participant end?
Yeah, here are some queries, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, yes, sir. How can we merge with IoT, sir? First question, how can we merge with IoT?
Yeah. In IoT, you will be having data you will be going to collect. In IoT, you will be going to have an data, because if you use a smartwatch or smartwatches, you have the data with you. So with the help of an data, we want to make the analytics, means we can make the analytics.
Hello?
IoT, you are going to store all the data in the cloud. From the cloud, you can extract the data, and those data, what you have extracted, that make to visualize the data what you have with you.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. Next
Yeah,
question.
it's audible.
Yeah, tell me,